Team Empire's turn to ban. Virtus.Pro's turn to ban. Team Empire's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Hello everybody and welcome to Game 2 between Team Empire and Virtus.Pro here on StarLadder. I'm Llama Down Under, I'm joined by Gorgon the Wonder Cow, and once I unmute him, he'll be able to talk. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you for giving me my voice.
So.
Team Empire's turn.
Alright, well, I'm starting once again the draft. Flying out here for Virtus.Pro versus after anybody. Virtus.Pro played a very end of game. Last 10 minutes, they win.
Sven stands ready.
Yeah, I think both of these teams do have a good record against No Diggity, but it's just the being in the lower bracket, being one hit away from getting knocked out, always really, really rough. But on the other hand, we have got a draft flying out. They're actually picking pretty quickly again, so we'll be seeing Phoenix, Death Prophet, nice, coming out of Empire. They're like, look, VP, you use the Death Prophet, it's ours now, and they have a really good track record with this hero. The Death Prophet.
yeah.
Pro's turn to ban.
That right, the Phoenix
Empire's turn to pick.
solid. Variety of reasons, but Sunray is well against Strength 4.
10
damage.
seconds remaining.
The fact that Strength 4s have a tendency
5
to lower
seconds
agility,
remaining.
lower attack speed.
Virtus.Pro's turn to pick.
Yeah, it's all around pretty dang good. So, we will see the Lion coming out again. As we talked about, this is something that's pretty prized prized among CIS. I'm not sure about the rest of Europe. It's kind of weird though right now.
It is a very highly priority.
Yeah.
It has been since.
The teams though that play in Europe right now in the qualifiers, so not the teams that are going to lands for sure. I'm excluding Secret, Liquid, and OG from this. They're predominantly CIS teams that are right now playing for LAN qualifiers, and there is definitely a bit of a meta shift between kind of how No Diggity and Danish Bears or Adfinem play versus these other CIS teams. There's definitely a little differences there, and also Danish Bears just do their own thing, and sometimes Adfinem do too. So it's kind of really interesting. I feel like we can pull together Team Empire and VP as teams who play a lot together, have similar opinions on how the meta should run, and also obviously scrim a lot.
Yeah, the CIS has always had very unique metagame. They've, out of the entire world's metagame, for the most part, been the one known for most activity. They most for protect one style. Team Empire kind of protect out for them, but that's not something you see this patch very often at all. Wars have a tendency to early. Lifestealer coming because they are able to get online with Sven, who didn't get active until he had BKB, Scotty, and a
For BP, it'll be a question of whether, as you said, they can get this early aggression out I think the other big question, we've seen a couple Svens decide to wait until they have Helm of the Dominator, Echo Saber, and a Blink before engaging. And I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm a huge fan of the more aggressive Svens, but we'll have to see. An AA just came out here. I can't tell if is this like trying to make them not pick the Slog?
This is to deal with the Death Prophet and also the Phoenix. The AA Ice Blast is going to completely mitigate that mid-game. Spirit Siphon X will also stop the heal, which makes the Phoenix wildly less. Ancient Apparition also does.
I think the other reason I was so surprised is AA isn't one of the heroes that sees huge amounts of love. Often, as you mentioned, just kind of picked as, oh, you've got heals, okay, maybe, or having something like the Alk where you really want to shut it down. But for Empire, they go to the Venno, and this is someone that I feel I really enjoy seeing Venno, even though maybe not the most exciting of heroes, making it back into the meta, because for so long wasn't a very popular hero.
Yeah, Ancient Apparition is one of the heroes that we're seeing now as armlet toggles.
Yeah.
Really effect right now because of buffs. Phoenix, because of the high strength, the Juggernaut push strategies that are common with the board. There's a lot of reasons that Ancient Apparition is valuable right now. In terms of pub Dota, which obviously is pro Dota, but even at high level pubs, Ancient Apparition is the 5th most on this patch compared to 5% light or something like that. That's bleeding a little bit into professional Dota as we see now. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more
Virtus.Pro
heroes like Death Prophet, Phoenix.
Yeah, and for VP, they're just gonna drop out the Tinker. I am apprehensive about this, but only as a caster. Obviously, as part of their draft, I think it makes a lot of sense. It can either buy time for the Sven, it can be aggressive early on, and then coupled with the Sven, you get right up in people's faces, or you just use it to siege towers and make sure nobody can come near because you got marched down everywhere.
That is one of their most played and one of the... Still means having only... don't have a whole ton of... more than 10%.
For me, the only thing that I'm maybe apprehensive about is sometimes Tinker games in that middle of the mid-game get very incredibly boring. You just got march all over the place. So hopefully that won't be happening, but who knows? No choice. They get rid of the Spectre, going to have to deal with Tinker getting caught out that way, and VP end with an Earthshaker.
I'm thinking that this isn't going to be a passive. With the Sven, with the Earthshaker, the implication there is that they want to get up the magic amplification early in the game. Hopefully then it's going to go for a more traditional build, get 2 items, maybe Echo Saber, and just immediately start barreling down towers. Tinker might go for March of the Machines towers, and could see Godstring see Empire have deep response to that.
Yeah. There's definitely nice options here. For Empire, they really need some right-click damage. Well, yeah, they need some right-click damage, we'll say it that way. Because Death Prophet technically has physical damage, but it would be nice to see something more secure coming out of them. And, I mean, they could just try to go for something solid like a Jug.
I was going to say, if it weren't for the Ancient Apparition,
yeah.
A big part of the reason that phase.
I feel like a lot of the nice, normal, hey, this would be a good carry, are getting knocked out here by the Doom and the AA.
Have a lot of the
Life Stealer.
They're going to go for Life Stealer. That's...
You say risky, I say crazy. It's a Life Stealer into an AA and a Doom. I mean, I guess there are you can argue there are definitely other targets that you may want to Doom up depending on how successful the Lion play goes, and similarly sometimes if you can Doom out the Death Prophet before she throws out that Exorcism, but it is just a very difficult game to be any sort of hard carry that relies on healing, or as you said, omelet toggling to get your health back.
Life Stealer does fare better than those such heroes into better dodge. He has that small. He has to be
10
extremely
seconds remaining.
on or toggle the armlet. He's got
5 seconds remaining.
to die. But there's a lot of space. Venomancer created space with the wards, right? You've got Death Prophet who creates some deterrent close, and you do have the Phoenix.
Well, you have to wait a little bit. Always exciting. Oh, 2 whole minutes. This, you know what this means. You know what this means. I don't know if they have any good ones though. I don't know what this says. Someone in chat can explain this to us. I really hope this is like the spot and kicking them into the hole quote or something. I don't know. I'm searching effigies. You know.
You're doing
you know
the
me.
effigy thing. I made that assumption.
Yeah. So then we've got how does Scandal have 78 commands on this? Wow. Okay. Well, maybe he's had it since effigies came out.
Llama is unimpressed.
I'm generally really picky about the effigies. I actually like this one. I like alcohol consumption. I approve of that in an effigy. Oh, we're actually ready way earlier than 2 minutes, so we could have talked about the draft, but let's get into it with some player introductions now that everybody's going to be loading in. Poshka playing up that Phoenix Afterlife on the Venom Monster, Scandal on the Death Prophet. We're going to see King R on the Lion, and last but certainly not least, Ramsey 666 on that Lifestealer.
Radiant side, we've got G mixing it up on the Tinker, F and G on the Ancient. Yoku is going to be Earth Bending on the Earth Shaker. Aloha Dance is cleaving. Sven and No Fears.
Yeah, it should be really cool to see exactly how the rotations come out from the Doom and the AA. I am interested to see kind of whether AA just ends up sticking in lane, whether they use Doom as an attempt at zoning, and even more interestingly, it looks like Empire are looking to run an aggro.
This is an okay decision. Apparition does well as a right
30
aggro lane,
seconds
right?
to battle.
3-on-3. Your own lane, then you can chill. But the Doom doesn't want to see. Doom wants to rotate. And by being very aggressive into the giving the Doom.
Well, we'll have a standard rune split, 1 apiece. Got actually a lot of pinging coming out. We didn't talk about it, but there of course were the early ward placements, and they have tried to make sure that their Tinker, oh, nice takedown there. F and G, but BP have really tried to make sure that their mid has a really good vantage point, so that Tinker can be a pain.
Yoku's gonna have, but top lane Venom, low lane, which as
Yeah, and Empire has started with the Phoenix in mid. They really want to make sure that G does have a rough time. Actually, Icarus dive being the first thing up from Miposhka, so not going to just throw out that Sunray. But G having to 2v1, never a fun time. Doom coming in though, and they're giving the beatdown onto Scandal. Oh, that clap doing too much work.
lane is doesn't mean we're gonna. Unless the Doom wrote down here, I would actually. Well.
Aloha Dance also needing a little bit more help, as we talked about. AA on for the pull, so hopefully that'll help out. Otherwise, Aloha Dance may not be that farmed early game Sven we're looking forward to seeing, but either way. Still kind of the duels in mid, both sides pretty comfortable with it, and I guess we get to go check out that top lane you were worried about. Afterlife so far, 1 point in Venomous Gale, 1 point in Poison Sting, but I do expect, like you do, for the wards to start coming out once maybe he has the ring.
He goes for more of a...
Yeah. Somebody had done their homework, so... Oh, actually, we have action in the mid lane. Scandal taking a lot of damage, and they will bring Down that Death Prophet with one last hit from the Doom. No Fear doing work.
That is the sort of rotation a Doom will give you if he's not stuck in H. So far, Empire have not really forced him. So I will.
Definitely contesting the Sven's farm some, at least he was in those early bits of the lane. Having a much harder time now, I think just because they prioritized on the pull. Yeah, both the pulls from both sides kind of being more of the priority. So...
The equilibrium should...
And we can see the wards coming out to Afterlife, and even without those wards, just doing a lot of damage out onto poor Earthshaker. So, Yoku, tough questions ahead of him, whether he wants to build with that Iron Talon, but it looks like in mid, they were giving it a go onto Scandal again. No Fear just has no chill. Gonna go back in, oh, bottom, yep, as you said, there are maybe gonna be rockets in mid. We get a kill in bottom, and they will laser down the Death Prophet. Oh, all over the place.
Better for Virtus.Pro than it is for Empire, but it got some. Sitting mid clearly wasn't causing any. Clearly wasn't helping the Death Prophet live either. She's now.
Oh, Aloha Dance taking some damage. A nice stun up as well. Ramsey's trying to pound away. The Storm Hammer comes out. Aloha Dance, one more auto attack brings him down. And that is the kill Empire we're looking for.
This is very smart. This is what Empire needed. More pressure.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Have to jump. Help support against high lane. He doesn't fall off. That will help. Now, if they had done this a little bit earlier, probably would have actually been.
Yeah, it's a rough ask, right? But at the same time, Scandal keeping up those lost hits, obviously a bit behind in the net worth due to the 2 deaths, but still keeping good amounts of lost hits up, since you can Crypt Swarm and not have to worry too much about the laser. And they'll have to hope that is enough here for them on Empire.
Yeah, I really need it. But once again,
This is, oh, yep, we have another nice rotation, but this time they might be able to turn it around onto the Doom. And he will go down. So, getting something in mid. Oh. Oh,
is
he...
always in the... Always able to... Mauser grab. Now rotate up. Low ground, he will... That ward.
This matchup is one I'm really interested in the top lane. It does seem like Yoku's actually getting quite a bit out of the lane just because Venno is pushing the creeps under tower. With that enchant totem, Yoku able to get the majority of them. So maybe not the best way for Afterlife to play it.
Afterlife is getting all of these. He is getting a lot of experience. Will sooner or later start.
Oh, up onto the Tinker's Hill goes Scandal, but not really able to make too much happen without some support. We'll get back to our farming game, and Doom looks like has decided to chill out a little bit, stacking up some creeps.
Package.
Oh, but in the bottom lane, Aloha Dance taking a lot of damage. The nice stun finishes him off, and again, this Sven can't be left alone.
The lack of rotation. Very good job of making sure. How good is that?
I think the question comes down to, can Tinker make enough space for Sven come this mid game? Because he is certainly going to need it. He can flash farm, he can always pop that God Strength, take down an Ancient stack, but he needs to get at least the Helm of the Dominator up first, and he is just sitting on treads. Nothing else, very few lost hits. Same amount as the offlane Earthshaker. Like it'd be good work to be had down there. Ramsey's a little alone because it looks like they are going to try to make something happen onto Tinker. Scandal does have Spirit Siphons at the ready, so G maybe about to not have a good time. They have to get a lot closer though. And G not making any mistakes coming up, and he can also see all of this since they have a ward firmly planted right
Radiant's
here.
top tower is under attack.
Also, the tells us lacking the.
Well, Earthshaker has decided to come on in. Will manage to get the fish alert onto Scandal. Will this just be an Echo Slam to finish her off? Doesn't even need it. Gonna enchant Totem. Does have the Soul Ring if he feels like it. Scandal healing up a lot from the Spirit Siphon. Actually kills off G. Now there's the Echo Slam finally coming out there. Another enchant Totem, but Scandal is still not dead. The Spirit Siphon doing so much damage. Yoku getting very low. The Lost Crypt Swarm gonna be just off the mark, but no fear. Doesn't have that Scorched Earth. Doesn't have the Infernal Blade for another second. Doesn't have the catch up there. Oh!
Oh,
Turns around and get her swarmed down.
that's playing the edges.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Not a Yoku, right? That looks as though it would be. They had waited for the Doom 1 more 3/4 of it.
Yeah, I think the other problem there was the hesitance on using the Echo Slam. I think they needed it sooner. So instead of this happening, Yoku now in trouble again. Scandal just gonna dive one more auto attack and Yoku will go down. Although G may be able to get the return kill. This is a big streak here. If they can find Scandal, they do have vision, so it's looking, yeah, this isn't great for Scandal. Rockets are back up. They're gonna be coming along, as well as the Infernal Blade, and Tinker gets a dominating streak.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
That is Boots. It's on the way out. That's going to be. Help stop some of this.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures
Lane
are
dominance.
fortified.
Creeps. Then it's been actually to get top lane.
Yeah, it is a hard knock life. Lion probably, gonna actually just run out of it. Don't quite manage to pick off that Lion, but it's okay. At the same time, top tower has been taken by Afterlife, of course, because you leave that Wiggle Snake alone for a second and Veno's gonna get it.
Tower is under attack.
That's the trick. Right. Yeah, the Earthshaker's getting farm out of that. But
Radiant's
slowly
bottom
but
tower
surely,
is under
Afterlife
attack.
is knocking at constant.
It is. You cannot leave that lane alone, and they did not have a great response to the Venomancer either, so in the Earthshaker. And now Aloha Dawn still playing that catch-up game. We can see that Empire are about 3,000 gold ahead, almost 2,000 experience. And Sven is 5th on the net worth chart, trailing 1,000 gold behind of the Death Prophet.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh boy, yeah, things are not looking super great for right here.
Ooh, maybe they'll make something happen, but how do they catch up here? They need the rockets to come on out. I'm not sure it'll be enough, and it looks like Afterlife will be just fine. No chance of shattering, and they rotated 5.
That's a full team rotation. While Rams bottom, now all 3 of them are sitting. Thanks to that.
Yeah, Aloha Dons might be able to find King R here. There goes the Doom out onto the Lion, of course. Maybe not the exact target you want it on. They're looking for a Stormbolt. The Jukes from King R. Not quite enough, but suddenly Death Prophet, no, they pop the God Strength. And coming around from the sidelines is going to just be the TP away from Aloha Dons. Doom trying to walk it off, but there are many people right on his tails, and they can see him. It's daytime. They're following him up. That's going to be a nice Sunray coming out. Spirit Siphon to slow down No Fear as well, and that'll be the pickoff on the Doom.
That's not a true. Yes, you have come back. Not so far behind that it's. Or if they're fine.
Hey, the increased Doom CD, it's not like he's doing anything anyway in that time. So, we'll have to see. On things that are going okay for VP, the Tinker's Farm already does manage to have the bots up, even though the game is hard, is going to be able to start spamming that march, getting some more farm up. And the Earthshaker slowly but surely working towards that Blink Dagger.
Down a stack of Ancient.
Dire's
Only
middle
one tier 1
tower
tower yet remains. Death Prophet close.
In bottom, Finger picks off the Tinker along with a stun, and just as I was saying things were going okay for the Tinker, jinxed up, brought down.
A big problem is, might be going okay for the entire team, was their own lane sacrifice for the benefit of the team. That doesn't actually help. Right. His team falls behind him.
Oh, they get the mid, but now they're finding the support tool rotating around. A beautiful fissure coming out of Yoku, and they will find the Lion. Should be going down here again. The Sunray kind of keep this Lion alive, but with no escape, and that fissure up. I'm going to quickly get that pick.
Okay, that's a nice series. Virtus.Pro collapsing down. Happened, and they also have...
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, also a great job by VP. We can see one just expired, but they had wards all along here. And it was just really helping them out, understanding the movements of Empire as they were coming in. And here we go, Afterlife may finally go down. A-Block right on top. Yoku just gonna Echo Slam him in the creep wave, and I like that. Just get the pick off, suddenly only about 600 gold away from that Blink Dagger.
That was a weird place for him to be. Finding a remote doing there. What was the goal for App?
I think just as you talked about earlier, just trying to apply more pressure, hoping to maybe draw some people away, but obviously did not end up working out. I'm interested to see when Empire are going to group up and push together, considering that they do have a lineup that could do that, right? You're running a Death Prophet, you got a Phoenix to heal you all up, you got a Veno. Are they just hesitant to group up because of the Ice Blast?
Waiting for... Because he's not going in... Said... Have the... That is buying Virtus... Very well. Sudden burst.
Well, since it will be the Radiance that you mentioned, it's going to be interesting to see whether they can get the Blink up in time and how much impact that Radiance, of course, has on the Blink. Obviously, I'm expecting the Blink mostly to be initiation here, but sometimes you want to escape away and it's just very difficult against a Radiance.
Also, he gets level 11, he's got Radiance and an...
In bottom lane, Aloha Dot's just going for the TP out, and it's looking like he'll make it despite the Infest Bomb from Ramses.
It's not farming. For Empire, that costs very, very little, but for Ramses is pretty happy with it.
Well, we will see just things going back to that kind of farming lull, as you said, waiting on the Radiance, maybe waiting on a few other items. The Death Prophet has picked up a cloak.
I don't feel period where they are now do have a Blink deck go for them. Without towers are very effective.
Scandal taking a little bit of damage here, and it looks like maybe for VP this is the place they want to start things out. It's very difficult. And they just back on up.
Waiting for the Blink. This.
We'll see if that changes things around. Obviously, they'd like to find more than one, but the best they may be able to find is a Death Prophet in mid, and they are going to go for it. Echo Slam onto Scandal, a nice A blast to follow it up, and with the Fissure, they will get that pickup and begin to siege this tower. Unfortunately, they're not heavy pushing heroes.
They don't really have any way to... Ben is so far fast to be far. He is going to go for the build that we thought that Helm of the Dominator is... That Echo Saber is perfect. have it by now, be very close to it. Ideally, he would have had it.
Lion is playing around, or was invisible and playing around. Unfortunately, there was a ward right on top of all of them. They'd missed it with their D wards. So King R just going to continue hiding up in the forest and going to see all of these rotations. Really nice job there by Empire. 2 wards they have in the forest right now, and the Lion will go for the TP away. Right as folks are walking right next to him.
Does have the rate 11? Yep. Radiance is on its way out, so this is probably what activity now optimally. What ancients? Granite Golem? No, he does have a Black Dragon Axe.
Yeah, he's got all the ones. The Venom made the stacks earlier, so really excellent choices.
Very smart play by the Venom. Create the availability of more, and immediately we see Plague wards available. Radiance and the will be difficult.
Yeah, again, you get into this awkward thing. Obviously, the Lifestealer did get nerfed. Can't hop into those dragons or the Ancients until level 11. But there's the problem of the Ancient Black Dragon is so difficult to take down early in the game.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I was just going to say, in addition to that,
Radiant structures
are just offsetting the Ice Blast. So you either have to save the Ice Blast, or you have to use it to not hit the life way. Not able to really initiate. Like I said a minute ago, Virtus.Pro really needed.
Going to be unable to, the Lifestealer just being a pain to the Doom, and you can see that the Tinker pounded quite a few rockets into Death Prophet, and it just didn't really do enough. He's just not there yet when it comes to Tinkers that are going to be stopping these pushes. So they will continue. Afterlife has picked up a Veil, so suddenly if his Veno does manage to get up in your face, because it looks like he's building a Blink next, you are in a world of hurt.
Got a minus in these. A lot of time. Hasn't been very jungle or heavy push.
Well, Tinker's gonna come on in. Lion and the Venom Monster maybe thinking about doing something here. I don't believe they saw them. Okay, they are actually seeing the Veno here a little bit. Oh, Tinker gonna jump on in immediately. He's gonna be ult dropped by the Venom Monster. They throw out the Doom. No real need. Yoko has to be a little bit careful here about what damage he's taking, and he will just try to TP home. Ancient Black Dragon vomits on top of him, but it won't be enough.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Very weird angle.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Candle coming up too little. Oh, okay, maybe not. Maybe not. Too little too late, actually. Right next to, there we go. They open it up onto G, and the support's on BP, not quite close enough. G trying to walk on back, but it won't be enough, and Scandal will get that kill.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And now, how's it got? Yeah, Virtus.Pro could.
And they need to contest this one. We will see the AA blast flying out. Scandal's not going to take it. They managed to clip her on the side though. And that is Exorcism down along with the whole Death Prophet. Phoenix coming in, trying to stop Yoku from doing too much damage, but he will just TP away.
Some way to stop. Fire had and way to stop these.
There have been a lot of just TP away, walk it off, going down, and it really is part of the problem in their lineup. Another big pickoff for VP, and it's looking pretty even when it comes to gold. Of course, there is still the issue of Will VP be able to fight into Empire's lineup with stuff like the Exorcism when it's coming up online and dealing with the Lifestealer infested into those dragons? He's luckily popped out of this one, left its body just die, getting himself a new one.
They are starting to get this little period of advance.
Yes.
Not been any bad.
Regeneration.
So when you're building this odd Lifestealer where you definitely want to be able to come out and fight out of the golem, but you have to be in the golem for quite a while since you're avoiding the ice blast, how do you build it? It's got the radiance, got phase.
Yeah, that's
Dire's
much it.
top tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower.
Yeah, it does look like he's stacking up some of that movement speed. Has the wind lace as well, obviously because of the interaction that you have. They are using another exorcism on this Roshan. Scandal actually getting bashed up quite a bit. There is no response. VP have decided, because they obviously know about this happening, they are going to go for the tier 2. Trade that for the Roshan. Aloha Dance in that God Strength. Flip comes out, and it looks like Aegis will fall. Do they have the TP rotations at the ready? They are TPing to the tier 3, and it's not looking like VP will get the trades that they want. Aloha Dance staying very far forwards, using that Echo Saber. He's almost there, blinks away. Will the creeps be enough? This will get denied.
Go, baby, force.
Oh, and there Rico saying there's gonna be a nice Echo Slam, picking up the Lion immediately. But Venno looking for some more. Will have an Ice Blast hitting on the Phoenix. Can't do anything here. This rocket will not be enough. A nice smoke out there, and I heard a Doom. It was just gonna go on the DP. So that's just gonna force her back to base.
Great for Virtus. On the Lion. Out of smoke. Not an ideal use. Never mind, that smoke utilize kill FNG.
Oh, yeah. No chance of TPing it out there.
That was bad place, but very nice.
Yeah. Also, especially when using these two kind of difficult to use heroes, the Venno and the Phoenix aren't often two you think of as, oh yeah, you two work together, get some kills.
Start so
well, more nice things happening for Virtus.Pro. They are getting close to a pipe up on No Fear. Okay, Doke. That's why you don't land together. No. Actually, I think the server probably did that. I doubt these guys are on land.
It's a rage quit. Rather play No Diggity. Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, we're probably gonna get kicked out in a second too if that's how it goes. But anyway, I was gonna say that Doom is very close to having up that pipe. Looks like he'll go for the Crimson God after that, although that could change if potentially there's Abyssal Blade necessary. So.
Yes. So. I don't know if you have the higher Cyclone Staff does have one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna really probably by way of ban.
We will just continue waiting. Hopefully we'll get some word of what exactly is going on. Yeah, but yeah, this is... I worry for Empire because even though, as you said, it looks like they're scaling well, just doesn't feel like they're quite getting ahead in these fights. We haven't actually seen a nice Exorcism engagement, since Exorcism was just used twice for the Roshan, and then, as you talked about, before the Yules were out, it was just a lot of TPing away.
Actually, that's going to continue.
We can keep looking around at things. We're seeing G getting close to Bloodstone. My brain for a second was gonna say something else, and I was like, please don't, please don't. But I don't expect him to go. He could go for the Ags. I've seen quite a few Tinkers build into the Ags as well, but obviously getting the Bloodstone up first so that he can maybe find some pickoffs, get some more utility. He's doing pretty well, all things. I mean, he's doing okay, all things considered.
I
On that
mean,
Tinker.
benefit the team. Not mean that and or fourth on the net are ahead of he has touched.
I think it's actually nobody in this game is doing particularly spectacularly. We don't have someone really dominating. It's just a case of we've seen for a while now VP starting to pick up those kills after being behind for a little while and doing a good job of catching Empire out. Even if they're using the Echo Slam on one hero, they're doing a good job of making sure that they get something out of it.
And for Team Empire, allow them to start up in this gen attacking technique. At that point in time, the start to actually hold down Virtus realistic and functional way, tactful as well, tactful way.
Well, we're seeing Empire beginning to reconnect. They're getting their business on, and we'll just be waiting for them. I actually think for Sven. Oh, did he? Yeah, he's just finished up the BKB. I expect this to be another one of those big turning points. It could mean that VP maybe overextend past their reach, but I'm expecting a big team fight here, where VP are just able to surprise and wipe them.
May wait for
in the context.
Or wait for Empire to, as they did last, right? The thing is that I think Sven goes late. So Virtus.Pro aren't necessarily on it. Could still lose late game, it's not, but probability of them losing less significant.
Yeah. Well, with that, folks, hopefully it's waiting on one. So they don't need the Lifestealer anyway, you know, they're only super hard carry. He's in a Granite Golem. What good is he going to do them? So, he has actually got a crap ton of gold saved up.
Granite Golem, obviously. Crap. You don't want to be walking around in that. Good is that going to do? I agree. Fantastically. No,
it's just a...
Go ahead.
Oh, no, it's just a interesting... Sometimes when we see these teams, especially since there have been a couple of engagements, it's interesting to always see a player just wait so long to buy something up. It reads to me as Empire really don't want to take something right now. Otherwise, right, you want that new item for the engagement. And so I'm not 100% sure exactly what Empire is waiting on before they want to engage. Maybe it just is that Yule so that people don't keep running away.
Yule's on the Death Prophet, also so that they can sustain safely tower push, right? Death Prophet underneath the Exorcism in the Yules will be able to sit next to the tower and drain it down without actually being out. Be able to provide time for her team, specifically the Venomancer, to blink reinitiate on anybody who tries to engage her. That will make it much more difficult for Virtus.Pro to find a good engagement. Also, the Yules is a possible Ice Blast dodge as well.
Yeah, or at least denying some of the damage and so on, it can help you out in a lot of different ways there. So they've got a number of tools on Empire to kind of avoid some of that Ice Blast business. I don't know like what is being said as well, but also like you can tell from the faces they're trying to bring their last one back, but I'm just imagining that they're discussing kind of the weather or something. So
Comrade, we are being DDoS'd. Please wait. Of course, Comrade.
That's actually what one of the teams, who was it? One of the teams is always like, oh, so-and-so is actually getting, like, they're just very open about getting DDoS'd, and it's like, you don't want to say anything, and they're like, no, we're getting the DOS unit. It's not great.
Hey, when you're getting it, you're getting it. Just gotta accept it sometimes. You know, it's happening. You gotta let people know so that... Pause. I feel like teams are gonna be more lenient against their opponents for really long pauses if you know, oh, it's a DDoS and not, oh, they left the stove on and are gonna... You know what I mean?
I mean, I've seen games where players have had to run to LAN cafes. I also feel like chat will enjoy this effigy, but let's get back into it. So, yeah, lots of different problems. I guess maybe they are in a team house right now since they did qualify for Manila and that's coming up shortly. So it could be that. I initially thought that they wouldn't be because I know that they aren't always all together. But now that I think about it, Manila's like, what, 2 weeks away? So they're probably just...
Big tournament.
Yeah.
Functionally the indicator of if this team is likely to rise back to kind of where they were at the end of last year, or if they're going to fall off the face to topography of Europe.
Yeah, kind of for Empire, I don't want to say this tournament doesn't matter at all, but Manila is a far bigger prize. If they're doing stuff in this game to prep for Manila, which you could argue maybe they're trying out different strats in a really important game for their opponents, it maybe is even worth it, even if you don't win the game, because it's just so important, the Manila.
There's also the very, very important of landing pad tournaments, which are tournaments that you bounce back to after you don't do as well as you wanted to at a... So, take the example of Virtus.Pro, right? Last fall, Virtus.Pro looked like they were going to be doing really, really well. And they opted to not play in Dream League Season 4 last December. Even though they were the returning champions, they had a direct. Opted not to play. Ended up falling apart before Dream League because they had opted out of Dream League. That's why they find themselves in this situation. They have not had very much land practice. They opted out of that landing pad option.
Oh, smoke is going to be broken. Doom will be the one to be seen. He gets tossed up into the air. We will just see, it looks like, oh no, BKB is ready to go back in there with the ball string. Tries to blow up Scandal. He is tossed up into the air. Can he find him? There is the Supernova and a little hot dog running around like a chicken without his head. And he will end up not being able to kill. Oh, finally a cleave on through onto the Lion, but now he is getting mightily kited. Can he find anything else? Silenced up there, and he will get brought down.
That's that Cyclone staff. That Cyclone staff won that fight for them. Keeping Scandal up while everybody else kind of gets kited in, allowed for the reinitiation exactly like we just getting that item and winning.
So really well done there by Empire, getting the jump, showing off those new items after that extended pause, and we'll see if they can keep it snowballing. I think it's still anybody's game. Obviously, even if things start to go south here for VP, they of course do have that delightful Tinker business going on.
Now that is, however, a pretty big item going the way of the lifesteal. The next armor from the Assault Cuirass is one push will also help. I don't think that Virtus.Pro have lost this, but things are going to get harder before they get easier.
VP, they gotta just regroup, rally, try to do it again. We haven't talked about AA and so on, but since AA seems to be the one buying most of the wards, while we see Doom getting a lot more farm, we're probably not gonna see too much out of FNG as it comes to item progressions, even though AA has an excellent Aghanim Scepter upgrade.
Yeah, it's a good Ag Scepter upgrade, and I think that the Ag Scepter upgrade is much more reasonably prioritized in pubs where teams like Ag, right? But for this level of play, it's much more important, especially in a match like this, to make sure that that Doom is able to get out and shut a hero down, is to make sure that that extended period. In theory, Virtus.Pro should be coordinated enough that if that Ice Blast lands, they are immediately engaging on it and killing heroes during the limited duration, 11 seconds.
Yeah, and they do have, for VP, I think a lot of the name of this game is they didn't win that last team fight because they didn't get the jump. You can easily see that if there is an Earthshaker Echo Slam into Aloha Dance hitting people once, twice, a lot of Empire is going to go down. And they just did not have it there. Aloha Dance did not have anybody held in place for him, so he got kited around. Everybody was able to, you know, turn into eggs, jump around, throw themselves up into the Yules, Icarus dive, just nothing he could find. They might be able, no, the blink away from Afterlife. They can't even find a pick on the Benno.
Fortunate, the last 2 times they tried to find a Benno, they have been successful to put a worm onto their hook, but in terms of controlling the map, I said it before the pause, I stand by Empire in just a much better situation, the way that they've itemized and the way that their draft peaked. Aloha Dance does have God Strength, and it does look like they're going to try and force a return to the base.
You're not quite able to. Aloha Dance also has that 9-second BKB, so he could have God Strength hit on the tower, but deciding against it.
I didn't expect him to actually God Strength there, but to threaten it is usually. They instead realize that this is not him. They had to back off it.
Very true. So, well, King R pulling in some forces, trying to get something set up. They are going to go onto the light. Oh, immediately they're hacked up onto Aloha Dance. Ice Blast will tap over the top of King R, but instead they're all getting poisoned up there. Aloha Dance in that, the BKB. He'll try to take out the Phoenix Egg, but he can't. And while at the same time, No Fear dies on the sidelines, will go down there. A nice stun coming through onto all 3 of them. Lifesteal is up and out and blowing up Aloha Dance's finger. Managing to pick off another, and AA left with the Tinker. Can AA get away? There's a Spirit Siphon up at the ready. Scandal coming in further forwards for them. Will be able to blow up. Oh no, and even misses going down with the Yules. They'll suicide on the Tinker. And that is just not at all what BP needed.
Empire are just in a much better state of game right now. Virtus.Pro. Right now, the way they get back into this is to stop being so aggressive and to start being reactionary. Throw down lots and lots of the martial machines, try to deter your opponents from coming in, force out your opponents to spend everything just to get into you for engaging. And even that at this stage, because they did just beat a full 5-man fight, might be different.
There's going to be the Rage. Ramsey's doing a lot of good work onto that tower. We will be seeing a push onto the racks. This will be big for Empire if they can get this one. Rocket Spam coming out, but now with the Tinkerbell. Okay, the Echo Slam completely whipped by Yoku. He ends up missing that one, and they see it all. They should be able to easily back here on Empire. Yoku not quite TPing what he thought he did.
They're able to get away, no problem. They will have the Exorcism up in 55 seconds. They still have a Drum Charge, and Lincoln Sphere is now done on the Death Prophet as well.
And Yoku as well goes down from all of that poison coming out from the Venomon, so they weren't able to save him in time. And that has got to be a painful series of events for VP.
Yeah, this is rough for VP, to say the least. They do still have a very farmed Sven. He is the most farmed hero in the game by a very, very, very narrow. And the Tinker is still globally able to at least maintain lane equilibrium, although Tinker is a pretty terrible pusher in terms of doing tower damage. So, Pro do have answers to being down 1 melee barracks. They need to make sure that they are not going to lose. Their draft can only hold so in the face of.
Yeah. I don't think they're out of it yet on VP, but it's a hard pill to swallow, the position that they're in. And their Sven, despite having the BKB, just doesn't seem to have good ways of dealing with the fact that he is getting kited so hard. Just getting moved all around.
Yes, and I mean, Afterlife is able to do so much damage too with the Ag Scepter and the Veil of Discord coming out. It's if Virtus.Pro are anywhere near that, the amount of time that gets bought out by the Prophet ultimate. The way it ends up working out, right, is that Death Prophet's ultimate is something that Virtus.Pro, in order to fight, need to try and end. So they functionally end up focusing down the Death Prophet whenever the opportunity. Death Prophet uses herself to buy time, and all that time the Poison Nova and all the poison damage from the Venomancer is whittling them down. They just can't fight into all of that attrition. Once that Yule Scepter came out, to be quite honest, it made it very difficult for Virtus to fight.
Yeah. Well, we will see VP try to keep plodding on. They are now 10,000 net worth behind, 10,000 experience as well, and it's looking like Yoku does manage to get out there. Nice TP away again. Between the Venomancer and the Phoenix, they don't really have those TP cancels. Oh, and they pop the Lincolns onto Scandal. Godstrings immediately. There's also going to be the Ice Claws, but Oathshaker dies in the fountain. Scandal, will they actually be able to find this woman here? And they do manage to pick up the Death Prophet. Lion thinking about regoosing. Oh goodness, they are staying really close by FNG. Oh no, goes for the TP, but will get hexed up. And FNG will tank the gank for the Sven. Well, arguably a good trade for VP.
Ends there, but it won't.
Oh gosh, Lifestealer coming out on the other side. Aloha Dance, you can stop the Sunray, but you can't stop the finger.
That's exactly what I was talking about last game. Remember I said they do a lot of high risk, medium reward, but like best case scenario there, they kill the Death Prophet. Worst case scenario there, what just happened, minus the Death Prophet kill. And Virtus.Pro just continues to take a stranglehold on their lead. Granted, they don't have the Death Prophet, so they can't push off of that, but they can go take Roche.
So?
Want to, which maybe they don't.
I think that they need it, but they're probably waiting for the Death Prophet. I wouldn't be surprised if they want to make sure that it
They're
is
going to
up.
get started right now.
Yeah.
They're going to pre-game without her. Kind of get warmed up, and she can jump in once she's available.
Meanwhile, they will just continue to have Lifestealer poke up his range tracks in the creep. Like, this is very, very silly. They can't do much about that creep.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna have to stand there and take it.
Devour it, Doom! Devour it!
He's just gonna have Lifestealer irritate them, and yeah, Ramsey's even dropping the XD because he knows how ridiculous this creep is. So I'm not sure VP is quite in the mood for it, but Exorcism has been used. They're gonna get themselves an Aegis, putting it on the Venomancer, so they want to make sure that Afterlife gets off that terrifying combo.
Yeah. So they've got everything they need in order to siege the high ground. Virtus.Pro do have the potential to reinitiate very strongly with the Echo Slam and with the Ice Blast. There is not a pipe. Oh no, I lied. Phoenix does have a pipe. I thought it hadn't been finished yet, but it has been finished, so even that is going to be more difficult.
I think you're trying to get a little bit more push happening in the top lane, but doesn't look like it'll be enough to change flow of this game. P just gonna have to keep hoping they can find themselves something. We have a siege creep just doing the rounds, you know, getting some vision, while Ramses just continues to be a pain in that golem.
Yeah, Virtus.Pro need to find an opportunity to engage onto their opponents, but their positional advantage is so extreme. Tinker can try to open up some space. More space out on the map, there's more likely that Empire will split up or fall into a bad position.
They've used the gold strength here to try and get rid of the golem. There's going to be a Doom coming out. Ramses is fighting up against the Aloha Dons. Aloha Dons having the upper hand for a second there. Afterlife getting very low on the back lines. That'll be the Aegis. They're trying to kill off King all while they wait, but will this be enough? The Venomancer will come on back up, looking ready to blow his load. Manages to get it, but they do take down the Venomancer, while King Aw does go down to the March of the Machine Span. No Fear taking a lot of damage on the sidelines here. Will just go for the TP out, and the rest of the team fight has gone very, very south. Where Aloha Dawn's trying to run it on away from Ramses, needs to get on out of here. One little tick of that radiance and he'll be in trouble. But they do repel Ramses, and all in all a win for VP.
Yeah, they held. That was good. They went pretty aggressively out. That almost went very, very, very badly for them. But just narrowly managing to split Empire up in a way that they weren't cohesively coordinating with each other. And that's basically how you want to fight against Empire. All that attrition damage only works if you're able to force all of your opponents into a bubble. And what Virtus.Pro really did there was they went in and Empire into two groups and then started to pick at those groups.
For VP, that is something nice, but unfortunately they are still deep in the hole. Now, 12,000 gold behind. They're going to keep falling behind. It's also a really rough one because Tinker feels like the only hero who can kind of go out and push lanes and will kind of take a bit of farm off the map for the Sven and the rest of the heroes.
Yes, that is true. But as long as Tinker is doing this, he's opening up space for the Sven to go out and get neutrals. They do end up maximizing there is that slight benefit, right?
Well, at least for VP, they have bought themselves time until the next Aegis, because I'm not sure that Empire, without a pickoff, want to do anything. So we've got at least another 5-minute wait on our hands, folks. We'll see whether Lifestealer with the finished Abyssal might be able to find himself a pickoff somewhere, while Tinker, just putting more levels in that Dagon.
I'm not entirely positive Empire actually want to wait this out, because the Sven does go late. He's very difficult to handle in the late game, and Tinker also can be very difficult to handle in the late game, especially if you have a team that is prone to being kited. So,
I don't think they want to wait. I'm not sure that they feel confident pushing without the Aegis.
See, I think they're going to smoke, yeah. They are going to smoke. And they're going to try to find something. Sven out too far.
Yeah, they're gonna find something tasty. Oh gosh, Sven now sees that Scandal is there. He manages to blink away, pops that Warcry as well. Gotta dodge these Fire Spirits, make sure none of them hit him so he can get away just false enough and have his blink up in 3 seconds. But Phoenix coming closer, gets the Yules off to take that damage when he lands. Lion trying to get in range for the blink. Another Warcry comes out. Sven is trying. He pops that BKB, goes for the turnaround, pops the Dawn Streak. There's a beautiful AAL turning around to them with Ramsey with the Abyssal Blade onto a low Dawn. They're working though. They blow up Scandal and it is enough. The longest kite of all time. He brings them all the way back. Benny Hill music should be playing, and Ramses will escape, but on the side, they are looking for that Phoenix. Has Icarus dive up in 27 seconds, but guess who has a blink before that? We actually see Miposka place the ward first, and they will guess the wrong direction. So the Phoenix makes it out alive.
Phoenix also had a Yule Scepter, so if there was the blink, he probably still would have gotten away. But either way, Virtus.Pro played that just brilliantly. Getting the Sven back like that, the fact that Empire bought that bait was probably
I don't think it was bait. I think it only became bait here.
It became bait, right?
Yeah, oh, we got Launch of the Machine Span going down, and A Blossom isn't actually going to land, but the Chase Tracing flies over their heads, gives them the debuff. We have buybacks coming out of Benno as well. They will take out the AA, and No Fear in a bit of a bad spot. Abyssal Blade will spell his doom. Did they get any damage? They got a little bit of damage on the tower for that. Oh, actually, Sven's still in a lot of trouble. Tinker trying to make sure he gets a clean exit. Oh no, they just Echo Slam up onto Afterlife, but there weren't enough heroes there. That's gonna be the Poison Nova coming out. At least that was used. Aloha Dom jumps in afterwards. Ramses doesn't have range up for 8 more seconds, and Tinker gonna try to make work with him, but the Infest comes out, and now Aloha Dance, this creep gonna be coming back around for him. This Launch of the Machine's not hurting Miposka as much as you'd want it to. And Aloha Dance in a bit of trouble. Gonna Warcry. Oh, thinking about coming back around. Has to be careful. He has Blink up in 1 second. He's gonna go for it. Oh, he's just dead though. Abyssal Blade and Aloha Dance goes down.
Well, the original Sven chase worked out very well for Virtus.Pro, but then they did another one of these maybe hyper-aggressive reinitiations down off the back line of them being chased back out. They could still get another similar chase. I don't think that they're going to be pushed into racks in the next 60 seconds. So, if they could still get another initiation, sort of like the one that they just had, that Empire overextend and just get railroaded by that AA blast, it is going to take something like that, though, to get Virtus.Pro the opportunity in order to come back in.
Well, for VP, they do make a bit of a dent in the net worth. And good news was they definitely got some more farm on their Sven from that. That is the finished Satanic coming out there, so that should help keep him alive more in these engagements. Maybe even withstand the Poison Nova. Lifestealer, what are you doing? Pops out that rage. There's the Doom, so there'll be no Infest hideaway here, and Ramsey's gonna try to walk it off, but you're not walking off all of these heroes. Gets the bash, but it's not enough. Tinker's in the house. He will go down.
So, remember what I was just saying? They need Empire to overextend. A Lifestealer overextending on a die back, that's a pretty good place to go. 1,800 net worth going the way of Virtus.Pro off of that one.
And again, all Okay, so this is really funny. FNG is going back for the mech. I don't disagree if he can get the Guardian Greaves up as well, but I was a little bit surprised earlier when we noticed the Doom was building into the pipe and the Crimson, because he had part of the pipe that looked like it could have been the mech a bit earlier. Because now we're 40 minutes in, maybe 50, and we're gonna have like a 50-minute mech. I think he actually has it flying out to him from that kill. Yeah, he has, okay, 42-minute mech. It helps, but it's a bit late.
Yeah, it's later than you'd ideally want it, but I do think that it's going to be a factor. Much more so than anything else that he would buy right now.
I don't think it's bad by any means. I just, I'm surprised it came out.
It is weird to see it come out this late.
Yeah.
You're right.
On the other hand, though, FNG has 5k net worth, so he's doing well for what he's got. Holy Hannah, look at all these bloody machines. And that'll just be a tier 2 suddenly. VP coming out of their base, and we talk about this every game, but they had a lot of untapped potential on the map, and they just got 2 lanes of all the towers. Like, they just got a lot done.
They go late very well, and Empire needs to stop overextending. Stop giving them these opportunities in order to recalibrate. The time they do, they make it not only harder for them to push around, but they also make it easier for Virtus.Pro to
OG may have overextended, tried to go out onto the Phoenix, the Silence thrown out as well as the Sunray. The rest of his team is here. A nice Ice Blast will actually hit onto all of them, or all 3 of them, and suddenly No Fear jumping up aggressively into the middle. They need to work on that Granite Golem. Somebody's going to be jumping out of it. G in a lot of trouble. He will explode. Back in 42 seconds, could buyback if he needed. They will see the buyback there immediately. They have lost the Death Prophet, though No Fear going to get blown up by Ramses, but here comes Aloha Dance. Can he make it happen? He's so slowed down, managing to get back up by popping that Satanic, but he still can't attack very fast because of those fiery spirits. And now with Scandal buying back, G in a lot of trouble. This may just be his 2nd death, and it's looking like he's going down.
That's really unfortunate for Virtus.Pro, having the Tinker die back there as well. God Strength will maybe be up by the time this starts happening, and buyback is there for both teams. Could realistically defend this push, but they are probably going to have to spend at least 1, if not 2 buybacks, and that in and of itself costly.
For VP as well, just seeing the power of Empire's lineup once the BKB is down on Sven. They don't have a great solution to this. They can start trying to throw some Lotus Orbs up on him, but it's not the greatest, and it's certainly not an answer they have right now. There will be no Exorcism, so that's one saving grace here for the VP lineup.
Peter just going to give up.
We thought so. Sven TPing in. Oh, the Silence comes out. The BKB immediately from Aloha Dance tries to put that gold streak on, but Ramses is just constantly bashing him up. There will be a nice Ice Blast going out. Manages to trace over one, but actually, yeah, it is. Looks like it hit one. Wasn't enough. They blow up the Lion anyway, and Echo Slam should give them Scandal. And that was a buyback on Scandal as well. The Lion bought back earlier, so they have 50 seconds with Lion dead. Oh, sorry, 50 seconds with Lion, no buyback, so that should be something.
This is just denigrated into a yo-yo game where each team overextends in turn, giving their opponents the opportunity to attack. This overextension, however, is going to give the Radiant side Aegis ease. Don't know that there's a lot that can be done about it, although Miposha is going to try to make it as hard as possible.
Yeah, it doesn't matter though if you slow down the Sven at this point. The rest of the heroes gonna do good work. Venom Monster though coming in will have that blink, Venomous Gale, Aghanim Scepter upgrade, and of course the Veil plus Mjolnir. Oh, they're gonna try for this. They have Lifestealer inside as well. They're just gonna stop the blink. There's gonna be a Doom coming out. No, they don't even bother. They've killed off the Venom Monster. No Fear will not be able to do too much here, and they will get exploded on by the Supernova. But with so many launch of the machines down, it doesn't look like Ramses is terribly interested in fighting this one. And both sides will retreat back a little bit. Roche is still at half health. Tinker thinking about coming back in. Aloha Dance, he wants somebody else here. He's going to try to find a Stormhammer out there. They do manage to hex up G though, and look at how quickly he melts. Summerkid going to save him for a second, but the finger finds him. And now it's Aloha Dance caught out. No BKB. Does have Satanic if he can just poke at someone. They managed to lock down Ramses for a second there. They got him in at that whole feet, but it's not enough, and Aloha Dance goes down.
Definitely setbacks with 104 seconds. And they could probably stop to get Roche and still get the racks. There is a tier 2 up in the top lane. Not sure if a minute and a half is going to be enough time in order to push into the Ancient. Scandal's going to try. March of the Machines will be out and available in 20 seconds when the Tinker runs.
But first, they need to deal with Scandal, who is pounding away on their tier 4s. They don't need to bother about racks. Scandal getting double hit by the towers, taking quite a bit of damage, but it's not going to be enough. And we'll just Spirit Siphon off of Yoku. Phoenix Sunray coming in. Here is the rest of the team. 7 seconds on the Tinker. Does their Ancient even have that long? They don't have Blitz. Ramsey's just gonna rage, go and fight against it, and finally they got the Tinker out of the base, but the Ancient explodes, and Empire will push this one to a game 3.
Very nice play, but nice utilization of those moves to travel from the Death Prophet in order to force that game out as quickly as possible. They could tell the possibility of that game sliding out of their control was becoming troublesome for them, so ending it as quickly as possible there was.
So good job. Empire had some stumbling blocks there, but they managed to step through, and we'll be headed into a game